Hey folks, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel, whatever the case may be. As you can see, I'm working on the Jacquerie my daughter got me for Christmas. I know it's not quite Christmas yet, well, Christmas Day yet, but that's okay. um, it's coming along slowly because it's a square diamond painting, and this is the first square Jacquerie that I've ever done, because like whenever I go to buy one, they're always rounds. Well, there's a lot of gapping, It's like the drills are just a smidge too small, so there is that. But look at these colors, just look at them. They're so pretty and bright. Yeah. So yes, this is my Sexy Plum. What a name for a puma. I guess that's what it's supposed to be, is a puma. It's a Black Panther. But yeah. So they all of the drills actually do fit into this container. All the bottles do fit in this container, but it's a bit of a struggle to get them out. So the two ABs, I leave them out, and then it's easier for me to get the bottles in and out. Yeah. And then all of a sudden yesterday while I was working on this, I suddenly got an idea, because I went and I got this from the dollar store. I thought that I could use this. So these are 18 count Aida cloth cross stitch fabric, right? And I got 3 of these. They're 15 inches by 18 inches, or 38 centimeters by 45.7 centimeters. And I've got the cross stitch pattern for my daughter's zombie kitten, and it's got all of the measurements for the different sizes of cross stitch cloth, cloths like the Aida, as well as the measurements for diamond, to do it as a diamond painting. So and because I've got a huge load of floss, cross stitch floss, I'm gonna try my hand at doing a counted cross stitch of it. Yeah. And I figured, well, I've got this tablet specifically for doing my cross stitch patterns, cross stitch conversion patterns, and what have you, but I still cannot get the Threadbare app on here, which is annoying. I can't, it just doesn't show up. So I've got these other apps on there to see if they will work. And then I went on to the Threadbare app on my laptop. I plugged my laptop into my TV so I can use my TV as a monitor. And that helped immensely. But all the patterns that I had uploaded, downloaded, whatever, to my Threadbare app on my laptop, gone. They're not there. I still have them, but they're just not, like, I've got them on my external hard drive, but they're not on the app itself, which is frustrating, because I had the zombie kitten on there, and now it's not on there. So, and yeah, it's just frustrating because I can't use the Threadbare app for the pattern, which is, yeah, very annoying. I can bring it up on Adobe Acrobat, but I can't bring it up on Threadbare. And I tried uploading it to Threadbare, and it's not recognizing it. Because apparently I don't have it as a file. well, it's as a file, but it's not as a PDF or anything else. I can read it as on Adobe Acrobat, but I can't use the Threadbare app program, which is annoying, because that's what I was I want to use it. So I gotta I'll figure something out. But I really want to get my laptop, I mean my printer. I want to get my printer up and going, but I don't have room in here to use my printer. I don't have anywhere any free space to put it. So that's why I haven't bothered with trying to get it fixed. And the only thing that's wrong with it is I gotta reset the Wi-Fi. That's all I gotta do is reset the Wi-Fi. Until then, it's basically just taking up space in the closet. Yeah. Which is kind of annoying and frustrating, because it would come in super handy, because I could just print out the pattern and have it on paper, and then I can just follow it on paper and mark it off as I go, mark the stitches off as I go. But I can't right now. Anyways, I'll see how things go, and I think I might end up going to my dad's and just take it, put it on a USB stick and print it out at their place. But I'm going to wait until after the holidays. So something that I forgot to mention in my last video when I did my unboxing and revealed this, something that I got at Walmart that I'm really excited about, because I had been thinking about it, about the possibility, but not knowing like the price, or not I didn't look into it or anything like that. But when we were going down the clearance aisle and we grabbed a few things on the clearance aisle, I came across a mini bike. Now you're probably wondering, what the heck is a mini bike? Is it like a little bicycle? Well, it's this is what it is, a portable under-desk mini pedal bike. So it's basically just bike pedals. And while I'm sitting here, I can every so often I do some pedaling, like ride a bike, right? And I've used it every day since I set it up. I haven't found any problems with it that I can't fix. Like there's straps over the pedals to keep your feet, to help keep your, for support for your feet. I just have to tighten those. And it actually came with a battery. It just requires one AAA battery in the, it's got a screen, a monitor thing, whatever, that tracks, let's see here. It's in English and French, because we are in Canada. I don't know if Americans have both English and French, but we do. So it's got a counter, yeah, and it comes with a AAA battery. I was a little surprised and happy, but yeah, it scrolls between the time that you spend, the distance in kilometers, the number of movements, or the number of movements made by cycling. The total count accumulates the numbers of movements made by cycling During different sessions, this total cannot reset unless you replace the battery. Nice. And calories. Estimates the total calorie consumption from the beginning of the exercise. The calculation of calories burned is an estimation and should not be considered medically reliable. So, yeah. So, but yeah, it also says that they recommend you consult your doctor prior to using this. And I'm like, well, whatever. If I remember, I'll tell my doctor. But yeah. So, anyways, I am using it. I've been using it every day. I use it a little bit here, a little bit there, every so often. But not while I'm diamond painting, because that's just impossible. Because I got to lean forward to diamond paint, and I can't be leaning forward and pedaling. That just wouldn't work. I lean back. I lean back in my chair, and while I'm pedaling, I'm actually moving my arms too. Okay. My coffee warmer. I cannot use this coffee cup in my on my coffee warmer, because this coffee cup, I would show you, but it's a full cup, but it's got a rubber bottom to keep it to prevent slippage. Oh, coffee. So I tried using my my coffee warmer yesterday. This lovely thing here. This was also on clearance. No, it was at the dollar store. That's right. That was at the dollar store. And it works. It does. But when I lightly touched the bottom of my cup, the rubber was very, very hot. It was hot to the touch. And it's, I'm scared to continue using it because, well, if you get rubber hot enough, it'll start to melt. So that's a concern. So I turned it off. It's got a little switch on the power cord for turning it on and off. And then it's got a little light that lets you know when it's on. So basically it just means that for me to use it, I would be having to use my other coffee cup. My smaller coffee cup, my Skull coffee cup. Yeah. And so far with this canvas, the drills are quite nice. A little on the small side, like I said. It's either the canvas itself that's just a tiny bit too big. The spacing is a tiny bit too big, or the drills themselves are a tiny bit too small. These drills, I can never I cannot remember which are resin or which are acrylic. But these drills have the little tiny divot in the bottom of a lot of them. A little tiny divot in the middle. So if you know the difference between, if you know which ones have the little divot, then then you know whether I'm using acrylic or resin. But yeah, these drills are, the canvas is very sticky. The colors are so bright and vivid. And it's actually going pretty quickly. It's just for me to have my mini bike right here, I had to move my chair back a bit to be able to fit it underneath the table, because this table, it's got a support bar across the middle, so I can't have, so that's kind of in the way. And there is nowhere else for me to put it. Because I need space around the mini bike. As it is, I have to be careful when pedaling so that my toes, my big toes, don't hit the bar underneath the table while I'm pedaling. So at some point I will tighten the straps on the pedals, which will help. Yeah. And so, yeah, so today is Saturday. Tomorrow is Sunday the 21st. And my dad and Bonus Mom will be coming and picking us up. And hopefully my boyfriend will be able to make it and meet us at the restaurant in the town next door at 1 o'clock for, well, it's supposed to be Christmas dinner, but because the sun sets at, well, according to my watch, it's supposed to set at 3:52 p.m. today. Yeah, I changed the watch, the cover, I changed the screen on my watch. So it actually shows, it's got a compass. It shows the temperature. Well, yeah, it shows the weather. It shows my heart rate. Shows my steps. It shows sunrise and sunset, and then it's got something on the left that's got a water droplet, and right now it says 47%. So I don't know if that's I don't know. I don't know the water or whatever moisture setting for me, or I don't know. I don't know. I haven't looked into it, so, and it's not that high of a, it's not that important to me, so yeah. My dad doesn't understand sometimes why I do what I do or don't do. Like the issues with my van, right? The driver's side mirror still needs to be replaced. The driver's side door is still the latch mechanism. I still am unable to, it's not fixed, so I can't open the driver's side door from the outside. It's not that high a priority for me because I can still get into the van through the I can still get into the van through the passenger side door. Or I just have Wolfie open the driver's side door after she gets in. It's just exercise, right? At some point I will get it fixed. So to me it's not a high priority because I can still access the van. I can still get in and out of the van. The driver's side mirror, yes, it is a bit of an issue, but I've learned how to compensate. I can still see out that mirror. I just have to angle my head, and I'm just extra careful when I'm driving. I make sure that I'm not too close to other vehicles. I don't I don't drive like a speed demon like a lot of people. I'm extra careful with going around corners. And I actually don't really pass vehicles very much. Yeah. So I'm not a lead foot driver like I used to be. But even when I was a lead foot driver, I still was pretty careful. I've always been a defensive driver. Except for the one time that I crashed my car. And that was because my boyfriend at the time would not stop pestering me and nagging me to go faster, hurry up, we gotta get there. Not safe in the middle of winter on an icy road. Especially when it's an icy road and there's stretches along that road where there's no cell service. Needless to say, yeah, I lost control of the car, went into the snowbank, went into the snow on the side of the road, had to get the car towed out, managed to get a ride the rest of the way, and then had to call my dad to come pick us up. But it was nice. We got to visit my uncle for a little bit. And I think that was one of the last times that I saw him before he passed away. And it was the only time that I had ever been to his place, too. Yeah, it's pretty sad. But, it is what it is. I'm a bit... He was a little bit antisocial. Didn't get out much. But he also had leukemia. Was dealing with leukemia. And so he didn't get out much. He would come to see my dad, visit with my dad, and sometimes help my dad out with work around the house, and my dad would sometimes go out to his place and help him with stuff around his place. And once in a while they'd go out on the boat and go fishing on the lake. And yeah, my dad for a while there would take my uncle when my uncle had to go through chemo. My dad was the one that would my dad would go and pick him up from his place and then take him to the city for his chemo and whatnot, because after getting your chemo and radiation and all of that stuff, you're not allowed to drive because of bouts of sickness afterwards. Because, well, you kind of are exposing your body to toxic chemicals to try and kill the tumors, whatever, the cancer that you've got. Yeah. And when my uncle was, after his treatments and whatnot, he wouldn't go very far he wouldn't go very far from home. So he wouldn't drive out to visit my dad. Something that he liked doing whenever he came out to visit my dad, when my dad still lived in my hometown, there's a secondhand bookstore, and you can actually they had a trade system. You could bring in books and get credit or cash. They preferred credit. They preferred giving you credit, and that's what he preferred too. He would go in there and he would give them books that he didn't want anymore, and would get credit for those books, and then he'd buy himself some new books on credit. And at one point, when I left my ex-husband, I took 2 banana boxes full of books. 2, maybe 3, banana boxes full of books to them. I'm like, yep, here. And they're like, well, what would you like? What would you like for them? I'm like, well, how about 20 bucks cash and the rest on credit, and put that credit on my uncle's credit. Put it on my uncle's credit. And they're like, sure. So he ended up with a lot of credit. I had credit there as well because I used to do the same thing. They also sold tea. So there were times when I would go into that bookstore and I'd buy myself a cup of tea and I would sit and I would read. I enjoyed going in there. That was a long time ago though. And while I was married, at one point, I was looking into actually buying the bookstore, because that was something that was a dream of mine at one point, was having my own bookstore where you could go in and sit and have a coffee or a tea and read a book. Because the town next door, when Wolfie was a baby, we lived in the town next door with I had a boyfriend at the time, and we were living with him, and periodically I would go into town, and there was a bookstore in town that I loved going in there, because I could go in and I could get a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, and I could sit and I could read a book. And they even had like pastries, and I loved it in there. I loved it in there so much that I wanted to have one. I wanted a bookstore like that for myself to run and own. Well, when I was married, I was looking into it because my ex-husband, he had a pretty good job as a journeyman baker. This was back before things just went to hell in a handbasket with that man. It was actually around the time that I was pregnant with our son that I was looking into it. So it was before it was before everything went to crap. Yeah, but I'm gonna go now that I'm done all of that. Number 5, that's a lot. Oops. I'm gonna save that one. And I'm gonna go because I have a little bit of a runny nose. It's not because of the conversation, it's just, it happens sometimes. If it was because of the conversation, I would let you know. But stuff from my past very seldom affects me emotionally these days, because lots of counseling. All right. So in the meantime, I'll see you later. Bye.